Getting to this now. This is the Braun Breaker. This Braun Breaker match. And we've been getting hit very hard on our comment section. And I'm not gonna lie, we've been getting the vast majority of people have been disagreeing with me, saying that Braun Breaker isn't resonating or getting really great reactions when he's coming out to the ring. But I it doesn't matter how many people send these messages. It's just gaslighting, because I could see and I can fucking hear, and I'm watching the program, and Braun Breaker isn't getting these massive reactions. I've had people over exaggerate more than anything I've ever seen in my life. And please understand, I'm a big Braun Breaker fan. I have high hopes for him. I think he's great. I think he's amazing in the ring. I just don't I don't think he's resonating, and it's alarming me, because I don't think Triple H is actually booking this guy the way he should be booked. And I'll get into that a little bit. And this match actually is a perfect example of what I've been saying. First off, Braun Breaker comes out again to pretty much no reaction. Literally, I only saw two fat dudes in the front row barking. That's all I saw. People were literally standing still when he came out. It looked like a 2K WWE 2K crowd. Actually, those are now more hype than when Braun Breaker came out. New music. I think the new music sucks more than the other music. And I don't even think the old music was as bad as everybody was saying. I actually listened to it on YouTube, and I was like, it's not the greatest thing. It's a little generic, but it's not like, oh my God, this is why he's not getting over. It's that bad. It's really not. I think people are just making excuses. Again, making excuses because for some reason Triple H is now the greatest booker that ever lived. And if you argue with that, you're an idiot. But yeah, here's another thing is every time a wrestler came out and they got a major reaction, WWE pulled up this little decibel reader thing where it was live and loud, I think it said on it. But yeah, they were pulling that up. Like, for instance, the Seth Rollins match, they pulled that up because the crowd got super loud for him. And they pulled it up a few other times. I can't remember exactly. Maybe Cody or something like that. But if Braun Breaker was really getting these massive, loud reactions, and somebody even told me that the entire arena is barking like DMX concerts. I'm not even joking. That was commented on our video. He's not getting entire crowds barking and reacting to him. Now, when he gets in the ring, when his matches start, people are reacting to him. Yes, I agree with that. And that's because he's a fucking specimen and he's an athletic monster. The problem is that if he's not, and almost anybody in wrestling will tell you this, if he's not getting reactions for his entrance the next week, he's not resonating. And the fact is that every night he has to go out and he has to work to get the crowd to remember him. That's what it is. I don't know what people are really seeing here. But yeah, I also put out a specific challenge to people about this, and I promise you I'm going to get into the match itself. I put out the specific challenge to people on the Braun Breaker videos, and not one person has met the challenge or even attempted. I said, if Braun Breaker is really getting these massive major pops, and there was at some point, and this is all main roster, by the way, I'm talking about. NXT, I'm sure he was getting amazing pops because that crowd is a bunch of trained SEALs who literally go there to get the guys over. And I'm going to get to that also in a minute, the NXT crowd, because I think that's part of the issue. But yeah, I challenged everybody. If he really is getting these major pops and these massive reactions, somebody just direct me to a video or name a time that Braun Breaker on the main roster got some kind of massive pop. And I promise you, I will play the clip, even if I get copywritten or copyright striked. I think that's right. For it, I'll play it and I'll call myself a goddamn idiot. But I know that clip doesn't exist. I know because I've been watching him on the main roster and he hasn't been his reactions have been going down. Now, the reason why I believe that's happening is because the way that Triple H is booking this guy. Bron Breakker should not be having these 15-minute competitive matches. He shouldn't be having problems beating Dragunov, beating Ricochet, beating Sami Zayn. I don't care about his fucking experience. This is the new guy. This is the new powerhouse. You have to build him. You have to build him right. Now, it's funny because I've been arguing with a lot of people that Bron Breakker isn't really getting the because everybody keeps going, oh, it's the Goldberg push. He's getting the Goldberg push. Just be patient. He's gonna get it's gonna build. He's gonna get the Goldberg. Tell me how losing clean to Sami Zayn on a PLE is anything like the Goldberg push. Tell me how having competitive matches and even winning with competitive matches that are 15 minutes long, how is that the Goldberg push? It's not. Goldberg, first off, didn't even speak for like the first 6 to 8 months, I think, that he was on TV. He would refuse to speak. So they built mystique with him, which they didn't do that with Bron Breakker. They're actually trying to, I would say they're trying to make him more of a mic promo guy, but they're not letting him cut the promos the way, they're not giving him the time because they don't give anybody the time. But yeah, this isn't the Goldberg push. And it's funny because last night at Money in the Bank was the proof. Goldberg didn't lose. So again, how is this the Goldberg push? And how does him losing clean to Sami Zayn in a really competitive match help Bron Breakker whatsoever? And that's all I'm saying is he shouldn't be having problems. Listen, there's a point in the match where Sami Zayn gave Bron Breakker his exploder suplex into the corner. And I looked at that and I was like, that takes Bron Breakker down a fucking peg as far as the psychological side of his booking. It takes him down a peg. He doesn't look like a powerhouse taking an exploder suplex into the corner from Sami Zayn. It's this indie fucking booking. This imaginary world, fantasy world booking that these fucking dumbass fans eat it up. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. But I'm kind of pissed about this because people are looking at this. I actually saw people celebrating this and going, this was great booking. This was great booking. I could even show you the post. Great booking. Bron Breakker spearing Sami Zayn, and they're claiming that's great booking from Triple H. Right here. I don't know if they're being sarcastic, but Bron Breakker spearing Sami Zayn today. Jey Uso and fine-ass Tiffany Stratton wins Money in the Bank today. CM Punk becomes the biggest hater of the year. Best booker and promoter of the year, Triple H. Honestly, tell me how taking a guy who's supposed to be who everybody's perceiving as the next Goldberg and having him lose clean in a big match against Sami Zayn, how is that any different really from a Vince McMahon decision, Vince McMahon booking? How is this any different? I really don't get it. I don't see where this Triple H praise comes from. Now, Sami Zayn was obviously completely over because it was Canada. But yeah, point being, I think they're fucking up Bron Breakker's booking. And we'll see because he changed the music and everybody seems happy about the change. And everybody's been throwing that excuse at me that he's not getting over because his music sucks and it doesn't have a siren when it does have a siren. Every single song he's had has a goddamn siren in it. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But yeah, I think the music sucks more than the music he had before. But I guess because it has lyrics, people think it's better. But yeah, that's that I think it really is going to take Braun Breaker a few steps back. I'd be surprised if when he came out on Raw on Monday, if he gets less than a reaction. I guarantee you he barely has people barking in that arena. Definitely not like a fucking DMX concert. But yeah, I think Triple H and WWE has to realize that NXT crowd is not a good gauge on what is going to resonate worldwide and what's going to resonate with the masses. I think and I've talked about it before. I've talked about it with Sports Jedi Network, who I was on his watch along last night. But he goes to the NXT tapings a lot, and he tells me that a lot of the times that crowd is so generous that and it's really all the time that they want everybody to get over. That's their mentality. That crowd is that they want everybody to get over. And that's why pretty much everybody on that roster gets cheered. It's because they're this generous kind of they're really trained SEALs where they're trying to create these chants. They're trying to really get themselves over as well. But they're there to get to get the wrestlers over. Sorry. The fans are there with the intention to get them over. So to use that as a gauge isn't going to work because they're going to be over. Everybody's going to be over there. And these are fans that watch, they watch the indies and they probably watch AEW and all that stuff. But they know who these guys are before they get to NXT. So they're watching the indies. But yeah, they have their favorites and they create these chants that a lot of the times don't even cross over to the main roster because people don't know the chants. And there's nothing connected to the person that makes the fans do the chant. It's because it was an NXT thing and they think it's going to cross over. And it's because WWE writes their shows like everybody watches fucking NXT when most of the audience doesn't. Most of them really don't. Look at the numbers. They don't. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from as far as the Braun Breaker thing. Again, I hope he gets over. And I have no doubt that he will at some point, but I get the feeling that Triple H's booking is hindering him in a lot of ways. And people are so high on Triple H that they're not willing to give that criticism. You can't even give criticism to Triple H these days. It's really insane. And it's crazy that Triple H used to be one of the most hated people by the IWC not too long ago. But he's the indie